Gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Comrade! Labor right, them a go down, bong. Them a go down, bong. Them a go down. Is that? Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. We now vote for Labour. Orange we a come out in now. If you love the PNP, who no step out for Marky G. Jamaica just come along with we. People time come, people time come, people time is up.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I say that we are pledge your allegiance.
Who's gonna run this town tonight?
Yeah, I say that we
We gonna run this town.
Make the trumpets play. Make the trumpets play.
2 years since news that Usain Bolt lost hundreds of millions of dollars at failed brokerage house Stocks and Securities Limited. The multiple sprint world record holder recently made public his dissatisfaction with the pace of the investigations, which has triggered a public debate.
Our concern mainly is that an effort is being made to blame Mr. Bolt personally for the loss of his funds at SSL.
Mr. Gordon was referring to comments like this from politician Venetia Phillips, who questioned on social media site X, "Did you get advice or directive from government directly or indirectly regarding making the investment you made and then lost? Was it all privately done? Have you sued the person who managed your affairs?" These questions, if answered, will give us here perspective. Mr. Bolt on Wednesday quoted her post stating, "Trying to victim shame me? Don't be a syndicate."
The stress is aggravated and heightened by persons entering into the blame game and the shaming of the victim. In other words, it's your fault. You put the money in the wrong place. You should have put it elsewhere. The allegation that the funds never got there suddenly have been elevated by one of the spinners.
Mr. Gordon notes Ken Tomlinson, who was appointed by the Financial Services Commission to take temporary management of SSL, found records confirming these lodgements and has attested to them in the Supreme Court.
But anyway, anywhere, and by anyhow you look at it, it is wrong to be cultivating in the minds of persons that monies went elsewhere and therefore SSL is not responsible for some or all of his funds and that he made a bad choice in investing in SSL.
No, Mr. Gordon and his team are considering separate legal action.
In this widespread attack on Mr. Bolt, certain persons might have crossed the border into defamation. And we are scrutinizing all the allegations being made, and we will take steps to protect his character and his reputation.
In the meantime, Mr. Gordon says the team is concerned about updates from the authorities.
We have not, for example, been invited to any formal meeting with anyone from any of the departments, including the FSC, to say this is what is happening and this is where we are going. We are out in the dark and we are just hoping that the investigations, including the reports from the foreign entities or persons who came in as experts, none of those have been shared with us, although it appears that people in the media are quoting from some of those reports.
Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn told the Gleaner on Thursday her office is now ready to prosecute the case against former SSL Client Relations Manager Jean-Ann Panton, the loan company official charged in the matter where Bolt and other SSL clients' accounts were defrauded close to $5 billion Jamaican dollars. Ms. Llewellyn said Bolt's matter has been reflected as it relates to the 22-count allegations against Panton.
Yo, I want to see the reason why Jamaican can't get no blood clot work again now. You see it? See the reason. I hospital of Mobile below. Cornwall original hospital. Cornwall original. Watch out. 1,000 Chinese. No Jamaican, you see it? That's why crime and violence now go down here, because there's Jamaican did they can do work, you know. They're rid of the Chinese. You see it?
Mayor Leon Thomas has threatened legal action if the bill for the municipality to become the 15th parish is passed in the Senate on Friday, following its passage in the lower house on Tuesday.
I can tell the 28 of them that we are going to court because the people of Portmore voted for a direct elected mayor, not even 1 year now. And for them to do something like this, we are going to make the court decide.
Mayor Thomas, whose job will be directly impacted, has accused Prime Minister Andrew Holness of walking back on his word.
And he said that he's not going to accommodate any discussion or do anything at this time, because he thinks that there should be a more widespread consultation with the residents of Portmore. With the absence of these conversations, certainly, I am now convinced that the haste to have Portmore Parish is purely political.
Some citizens also seem to agree.
Election a come, and that is the reason why they might talk about Portmore to be a parish. You know why them didn't do it long before now? Why now?
It is a good thing because of the amount of development that is happening in Portmore. So, being as it is surrounded by so many schemes and other business places, so it is ideal for to be a parish.
But Minority Leader Courtney Edwards says consultations were done, some virtually, others face-to-face with the MPs and other stakeholders.
I personally would have gone to several CBO meetings, right? In fact, the Prime Minister did come to Portmore on one occasion by the Art Academy, where a meeting was held.
Of concern is the proposed parish border. The PNP councillors argue that much of the development lands will be sucked into St. Catherine. Access to Portmore via the Mandela Highway was another concern. The councillors worry about the stress on the already congested road network for those who opt out of the toll. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has delivered a speech akin to a budget speech. Many of the things he included in his speech today are things that were in his budget speech last year in March. And we've heard it several times since. But you know, what that speech that the Prime Minister just made reflects is really a pretense at accepting responsibility, but in reality seeking to dodge responsibility. Climate change. To blame the poor, the appalling state of the road network in Jamaica today on climate change is just totally disingenuous. The reality is that there has been an absence of any proper road maintenance policy for years. And you have been in office for 9 years, so you have superintended 9 years of neglect over the maintenance of Jamaica's road network, for which the people are holding you accountable now. And that's just the reality of it. There used to be a road maintenance fund, which was established and funded to support road maintenance programs. That was put to an end under the JLP government to help to finance some of the loans that were taken from China, as it was in that case, to finance some of the major road projects. Jamaica's had decades of major road projects, but very little road maintenance. And what bothers me about your approach is that it's going to continue into the future if you are allowed to continue in government. There will be inadequate maintenance as a permanent feature of your government's regime, because you're continuing to be fixated on major road projects, because no doubt the benefits that flow, that can be the collateral benefits that flow from those major road projects, of which we are all aware. But the road maintenance, which is what the people want to see, the interior roads, the community roads, even the scheme roads, which you said the government is not responsible for. The government fixes the entire parameters of how roads are addressed in the country. The decision whether to take over or leave roads without any proper superintendent is a government decision. You can't shirk responsibility for scheme roads because you say developers developed it and it was never handed over. These are schemes which have been in this situation for year after year after year with no proper arrangement for dealing with the fixing of the roads in those schemes. So you said something about when you start to shout, the stone lick. Well, apparently it doesn't lick. That's why you're shouting at me now. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I don't discussions about resolutions brought here are neither here nor there. The reality is that Jamaica has a proliferation of schemes that were developed by private developers where the roads are in limbo. And you can't shirk responsibility as a government by saying, oh, that's the way it is. It's the duty of the government to fix the system if the system is flawed. The fact that you're very bad at fixing systems is no excuse. And that failure is replicated in many different areas in terms of how the state interfaces with the population, where there are all sorts of inefficiencies which people suffer from daily and need to be corrected, and you're very poor at correcting it. But the point about this is climate change is not the excuse. It's not an excuse that can absolve you from responsibility for your stewardship of the road network over the last 9 years. Highways have been built. Highways were built by many governments. The North Coast Highway was built by the PNP. The East-West Highway was built by the PNP. The North-South Highway was built by the PNP. So and you built some roads too. But the road network, despite the increase in fiscal space, which has been the legacy of the successful execution of the IMH program under the PNP administration of Portia Simpson Miller, after the Bruce Golding administration collapsed the program and couldn't cross it and had to give up on it, couldn't pass any tests. We took it over and we set the groundwork. We did the heavy lifting. That is why the tax system was fixed by a proliferation of tax legislation and administrative changes which have borne great fruit, where the revenue has increased year.
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.